The Simpsons, SpongeBob, Tweety Bird, the Minions, Pikachu, Winnie the Pooh, all of these characters share a common thread. And if you've been doing the bare minimum amount of work with your eyes, you've probably already figured it out. And once you have, you can't unsee it. To paraphrase the unparalleled genius of Coldplay, they are all yellow. But why? What's the deal with yellow, and why has it been so prevalent in animation through what feels like its entire history? Why this color, as opposed to any other color in the color wheel? Though some of these may be an anomaly, there is method to this madness. After all, once or twice is a coincidence. What we have here is a pattern. Hi, I'm Jacob with Channel Frederator, and we're here to crack this mysterious color case and get to the juicy, probably yellow, meaty center of the entire thing. So get your eyeballs ready, because we're about to answer the question, why are so many popular cartoon characters yellow? First of all, we realize that there are popular cartoon characters that are not yellow, but we dare you to come up with one that doesn't have any kind of yellow in their color palette at all. We believe the color yellow gives them an advantage and therefore a head start towards success and recognition. Now, every cartoon character that ended up yellow, of course, has their own reasons for being that way. For example, Minions are yellow because they reminded the team at Illumination of Kinder Eggs, and all of the awesome, totally non-chokeable, kid-safe surprises inside. Winnie the Pooh is based off of a real World War I veteran's pet bear who loved honey, and Winnie the Pooh author A.A. Milne combined this with his son's actual yellow teddy bear. But my personal favorite animation anecdote comes from The Simpsons. Their design was part of a snap decision to prevent them from being the same peach or cream skin color you usually saw on other cartoon characters of the time. And this new color design would make viewers instantly recognize The Simpsons when flipping through channels. But why the instant recognition? Well, the explanation ranges from the very simple and logical, all the way to the emotional and, believe it or not, physical responses we have to certain colors. And it all starts with good old color theory. Color theory is a big part of why certain colors work better together than others, and in turn, why they're chosen more often for cartoons. You remember the color wheel, right? It shows the primary colors and then the combinations of those, which are called secondary colors, and then the combinations of those, which are called tertiary colors, and so on. And these primary colors are blue, red, and of course, the cartoon favorite, yellow. The wheel shows how different colors interact with each other, and the most important of these interactions for our purposes today are complementary colors, which are two colors that are directly opposite each other on the color wheel. And these colors are meant to make pleasing combinations. So, yellow's complementary color on this wheel is purple. So does that mean that yellow is usually used opposite of purple in animation? The answer, of course, is no. And here's why. This color wheel is for pigment, and it's usually used for mixing paint. There are actually two other color wheels with different primary colors. One of them is the CMYK model, which has the primary colors of cyan, magenta, and yellow, and this is usually used for color printing purposes. But the color wheel that's most important for this topic is the RGB model, which is also known as the color wheel of light. This is the model that's used for television and digital media. If you've ever opened up a color selector on Photoshop or any other art program, you've probably seen some red, green, and blue sliders to create colors. And this is where that comes from. See how it's RGB and then red, green, blue? This makes sense, right? This additive light mixing model is set on a different wheel, so our complementary colors change. And we have a new set of colors that work together now. Red is now complementary to cyan, green is now complementary to magenta, and blue is now complementary to our good friend, yellow. This yellow and blue relationship takes us back to cartoons, because the complementary colors make each other stand out. You can see this principle put to work in SpongeBob SquarePants, where our main character in his glorious prismatic yellow stands out against the very, very blue background. Now, I know what you're thinking. Can the same be said for red versus cyan or green versus magenta? And you're right, because yes, it totally can. Let's check some examples of these contrasts in our favorite cartoons. So let's first start with the most obvious example. Mr. Magoo. This old guy was created by UPA Animation Studios in 1949. I called up an industry expert, Stephen Worth, to talk about some early examples of how animators used character color in animation.
Hi, I'm Stephen Worth. I'm Director of Animation Resources, a 501c3 nonprofit educational resource for animators and cartoonists. If you look at Mr. Magoo cartoons, you'll see his costume is either the white tennis outfit or the dark green overcoat. It's a very simple color palette. This was done because the backgrounds at UPA were the focus of the cartoons.
Simple character against a crazy background. Makes sense, right? Now, you'd think that the Simpsons would be the opposite because of their yellow-colored skin. But remember the contrast colors to yellow that we mentioned? Those are pretty colorful too, as opposed to being neutral. The show uses a lot of pinks for their backgrounds, including the Simpsons' house and even the sky sometimes. And when the sky isn't pink, it's blue. Both pink and blue are contrast colors to yellow. They just have to be careful of using any yellow in their backgrounds, or the characters might end up just being floating teeth and eyeballs, with some flying clothes underneath them. Kind of like how actors or presenters who are using a green screen can't wear the color green or they'll disappear, often with hilarious results. And nobody wants their characters to get lost in the scene, so animators have to use their color tools to make everything pop. Steve Worth actually gave us a bit of history from The Simpsons.
I was friends with Phyllis Craig, who was an old-timing contained lady. She worked at Disney on Alice in Wonderland and Sleeping Beauty. She went to work for Film Roman, and when Film Roman took over production on The Simpsons, she had to color key yellow skin on all the characters.
She had to flip all of her color theory backwards in order to make it work with the yellow-skinned people of Springfield.
It turned all of her theories upside down. She was used to normal skin colors. Now she had yellow skin colors. But what it meant was that she could use a whole bunch of different paint chips of colors that she never got a chance to use before.
Color stylist Mira Crowell uses a similar color theory today for Bravest Warriors. Warm against cool colors, light against dark, different shades in the same hue and vice versa. The contrast of colors is a huge tool in animation. Now, one could argue that blue backgrounds are the most common, as many scenes take place outdoors. You know, blue sky, green grass. So that would make yellow the best contrast to nature. But that's a bit hard to nail down 100% as accurate. So instead, we're going to dive into another aspect of color study, the field of color psychology. Color psychology is basically the study of how each color makes people feel. This idea that colors affect the way people think about things is an ancient one, but it's a bit loose since there's a lot of specific cultural context that can be applied to this idea. However, there are some concepts that are usually pretty universal. And for our case study, let's use the characters of Inside Out. See, colors like red and blue tend to be negative, even stressful colors. Blue is usually related to sadness. You know how people are always singing about how they got the blues? This is why the character of sadness is blue, while red is often related to anger or danger, with fire trucks and emergency signs being red, street signs crossing things that you shouldn't do out in red, not to mention red traffic lights and red stop signs that both signal for you to stop. So it seems only natural to use this aggressive color for anger. Basically, these colors don't exactly make you feel happy to see them. Yellow, on the other hand, is most commonly a color that is associated with things like playfulness and happiness and optimism, traits that seem pretty ideal for a cartoon character that's aimed for kids. And the character of Joy hits all these to a T. Also, notice the blue hair. It's all starting to make sense now, right? Even the negative concepts associated with the color yellow, like jealousy or cowardice, are used as gags in cartoons. Yellow in general is considered one of the warm colors, which are usually perceived as active, and able to capture the attention of a viewer more easily than a relaxing, cool color. And while the hard facts on this concept are a bit difficult to nail down, the idea is very popular and often considered during character design. Think of the Minions, for example. Their whole deal is to be lighthearted and goofy and hyperactive. Mega active, even. Ultra active. You could even say that the Minions are the poster children for the color yellow's application in character design. Who knows, maybe they'll, I don't know, design an official Pantone color or something named after the Minions. Wouldn't that be something? Oh, wait. Here's some more hard science behind this popular color. Did you know that yellow is the most visible color in the entire visual spectrum? Yeah, it's true. The reason for this is a lot more complicated than what I'm going to tell you here, but it's essentially due to how the cones in your eyes process light, and the order in which the signals for red, green, and blue light reach your brain. The result of this is that yellow captures our attention first, and the brighter it is, the faster it'll grab us. This is actually why warning signs and taxi cabs are yellow, and some cities are actually switching to yellow fire trucks because of this. This is ingrained not just in our human cities, but in nature itself. Natural warning signs are yellow to let predators know instantly that potential prey may actually be pretty bad news. And things like flower petals and pollen are yellow to attract pollinators faster. Yellow is even colorblind proof, so almost nothing short of total blindness will get in the way of someone being able to accurately recognize the color yellow. So maybe sometimes these animators are subconsciously choosing the color yellow. Or maybe they know all of this science and they're using it as a tool. Either way, we think it's pretty safe to say that yellow is a standout color. And a smart choice for your cartoon character, especially if you use a blue background, or a nature background, or pink houses. It's clear that it grabs the viewer's attention, so feel free to use this knowledge when you're making your own animated shorts, or even when you're making signs, or flyers, or something to grab the attention of that special someone. You're welcome. Just make sure that your background is complimentary. And don't make it your background if your foreground color is also yellow. Once again, I'm Jacob, and thanks for watching Why Are Popular Cartoon Characters Yellow? And special thanks to Stephen Worth for providing his expert knowledge and history. Did you enjoy the video? And who is your favorite yellow cartoon character? Comment below and let us know. And don't forget to click the little bell icon to become part of our notification squad. And don't forget to check out our other videos and let us know what you want covered next. And for all your cartoon needs, make sure you subscribe to channel Frederator, your cartoon central on the internet.